Oh, hi. I'm Sam Thompson. You just caught me reading this classic chess manual. Anyway, I'm really here to tell you about a new cocktail series on the Chai Pani channel called Keep It Classic Tuesdays. Cheese, classic. Olives, super classic. So classic cocktails lately maybe have gotten a little bit of a bad reputation just because, you know, there's always a guy with the mustache drinking a really strong and bitter drink that, you know, maybe he pretends like he likes it, but everyone knows that he doesn't. Mm-hmm. And really what I want to show everyone is that there's an entire collection of classic cocktails that I promise you've never heard of that are absolutely drinkable, absolutely delicious. You don't have to be wearing suspenders to enjoy it. My background is in physics and math. I actually recently worked at NASA where we were trying to prevent space dust from gathering on solar panels for robotic lunar missions. And I figure, you know, what better way to improve the world after doing something like that than to help people make classic cocktails. My producer, Mikey, actually really wanted me to say that. He thinks that anyone will listen to someone that worked at NASA. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, okay, which there's a button somewhere where you can subscribe to the Chai Pani channel. And if you want to have a new classic cocktail video in your email inbox every week, then make sure to subscribe to our email list by clicking a link, one of these places, probably down. Classic. Hi, I'm Sam Thompson. This is Keep It Classic Tuesdays. Cocktails is one of those things I find really interesting. I used to work for NASA, but somehow now I'm making drinks. Today we'll be making the tuxedo. Now, a tuxedo is an interesting drink. It's a pretty old drink, probably early 20th century. There are many recipes called the tuxedo, and they all have different ingredients, so it's a bit difficult to say what came first and, you know, what's the true recipe or the oldest. At least the recipe that I enjoy the most is also the simplest, and it just calls for a dry gin, Fino sherry, and orange bitters. It's pretty much a riff on a martini, the way I'm gonna make it. All right, so we're gonna start with 2 ounces of our Plymouth. I recommend this drink with Plymouth gin. You can use a London dry gin, no doubt, but Plymouth is just a beautiful dry gin that I think pairs perfectly with sherry. All right, now sherry, fortified wine from Spain. It has really interesting notes, kind of nutty, slightly oxidized. We'll do 1 ounce of Fino sherry. Now, of course, a 2-to-1 ratio isn't, you know, the only way to make this drink. Sort of like the martini, it's really up to you in terms of you know, how dry you want it, how much gin you want versus how much sherry you want. So you could do different ratios and just see what you like. We'll add a dash of orange bitters, which was also an original ingredient in the martini. Now, that's about it. Just gonna add some ice, stir it. If you look this drink up, you'll probably find lots of different recipes with maraschino, with absinthe, and like a typical dry vermouth instead of sherry. But I think this is, you know, a really good version of the tuxedo. It's really old and it's simple, it's delicious. Stirring it is gonna, really it's all about texture, right? So when you stir it, you're not creating any ice shards, you're not aerating the cocktail in any way. So it's gonna have a nice, smooth, silky texture. The final product should be beautiful. Looking good. Okay. And we'll strain this into a cocktail glass. Like so. And the drink really is delicious enough. I like to add a small piece of lemon. Sort of adds that extra aromatic quality to the cocktail. So when you put your nose up to the glass, you get a scent before you taste it. Delicious. It's a really clean tasting cocktail. The Phoenix Sherry has this sort of bone dry, slightly nutty flavor, which is typical of sherries. And the Plymouth Gin is mellow and really sort of combines with the sherry in a nice way. Neither ingredient really overpowers the other. Yeah, that's awesome. If you don't like this, then kill yourself. This is perfect. Thanks for joining us. Join us every Tuesday at MG Road for classic cocktails. Keep it classy.
Pretty cool stuff, huh? Courtesy of Webster on Store.
Hi, I'm Sam Thompson. This is Keep It Classic Tuesdays. I used to work for NASA studying space dust, but now I moved on to much more important things, making drinks at MG Road. Today we'll be making the Sazerac. So the Sazerac, the classic of classics. There are, a handful of 19th century drinks that we still enjoy today. Maybe the only other one that's older than that is a Martinez or an old fashioned. Back in the day, in the 19th century, you'd be making it 100% with cognac. Today we'll be making it with rye whiskey, and we'll add 1.5 ounces. Now, the drink was originally made with cognac, and so we'll be adding just a half ounce, sort of to tip our hat to that original recipe. This is sort of, in a sense, like an old fashioned. We're just gonna add a little sweetener. I'm gonna add 1/4 ounce of a Demerara syrup. That's a 2-to-1 syrup. Sort of the interesting thing about this drink is we're gonna add bitters, and we're gonna add a lot. So I'm gonna do just like 1 dash of Angostura because I feel like Angostura belongs almost in every cocktail. And then we're gonna add a bunch of Peychaud bitters. Okay, so I'm gonna add like, I don't know, 4 or 5. I just kind of keep dashing until it feels good. If the drink isn't a slight pink color, then you've done something wrong. Peychaud does have like red number 3 in it, or red number 5, or I forget. Anyway, but don't worry, it doesn't cause cancer. Now, before we stir, we want to prepare the glass that we'll be drinking out of. Now, we need to coat this glass with absinthe, okay? Not just any absinthe. This is a delicious French absinthe I highly recommend. There's going to be a little bit of absinthe that gets mixed up with the drink, and so you're going to taste that. But it's also important that the interior of the glass is coated so that when sort of your nose goes in, you get a nice smell. And you just want to kind of roll that absinthe around and make sure the whole inside of the glass has touched that absinthe. Because really the drink's only going to go up to about here, so the rest of the glass is still going to have that absinthe coating, which is important. You can also use like a mister and sort of spray it in there. That's a really efficient way of doing it. You can also spin the glass like that. And now it's nice and coated. I'm going to get rid of the excess because you don't want to add too much. It's good. Now we just need to add some ice to our glass. And typically you'll be stirring anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. It's all thermodynamics. Depends on the temperature of your mixing glass, the temperature of your ingredients, the temperature, how wet or dry your ice is. I think that's good. And we use a julep strainer to strain this into our glass, which has absinthe in it. Okay, now before we're done, we're going to just create a lemon twist here and squeeze that lemon twist over the drink. Really what we're looking for here is the oils from the peel. We're not actually going to drop this in the drink, and this goes back 100 years. It's one of those few drinks where you squeeze the peel and then you discard the peel. So now we have sort of nice aromatics of absinthe, lemon. Rye and cognac really mix well. It's a perfect amount of sugar. It's a great drink. It's really timeless. You can't go wrong. So, cheers. The Sazerac is sort of the grandfather of the classics. If you haven't had one, then you're missing out, and you don't know your history. So get educated. Thanks for joining us. Join us every Tuesday at MG Road for classic cocktails. Keep it classy.
It's hard to manage a busy bar, but Webstaurant makes it easy by shipping everything you need to your door. Courtesy of Webstaurant Store.
Hi, I'm Sam Thompson. This is Keep It Classic Tuesdays. I used to work for NASA studying space dust, but now I moved on to much more important things, making drinks at MG Road. Today, we'll be making a Hotel Nacional. Now, a Hotel Nacional is a rum drink. This is a really lovely drink. It's not blended. It's not overly sweet. It doesn't have coconut milk. This is a great book to have, written by Jeff Berry. He's basically the cocktail historian when it comes to rum drinks, the Caribbean, tiki. He's the guy you want to talk to. Now, according to him, the Hotel Nacional was invented by one or possibly two bartenders in between 1931 and 1933. No one really knows. Cocktail history is difficult because most people have been drinking quite heavily. You know, in Cuba, probably they use like a white rum or an aged rum, but anyway, it was a Cuban rum. Today we'll be using aged Jamaican rum, which I like a little bit more. It's a little funky, kind of holds up, stands out, because we're gonna be adding a lot of other ingredients here. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of this Jamaican rum, Appleton, which is delicious. We'll do 1 ounce of pineapple juice, ½ ounce of lime. We need a little sweetness. We'll just do ½ ounce of simple syrup. And of course, all these ingredients you can sort of mix and match to create your favorite recipe, right? Because in the end, what you're thinking about is a combination of citrus, in other words, sour, and sweet. And then finally, really what makes this drink completely unique is we'll be using apricot brandy. So this is a sweetened apricot eau de vie. Which is, in other words, an unaged brandy made from apricots with sugar added. Okay, and we'll use a ¼ ounce of that. And we're just gonna shake this up. And I'm going to double strain into our glass. I like a lime wheel, personally. You're not really going to do anything with that wheel, it just is pretty. Yeah, Hotel Nacional is completely delicious. The apricot brandy is sort of it's sort of magical in here. Wow, it's really good. Thanks for joining us. Join us every Tuesday at MG Road for classic cocktails. Keep it classy.
It's hard to manage a busy bar, but Webstaurant makes it easy by shipping everything you need to your door. Courtesy of Webstaurant Store.
Hi, I'm Sam Thompson. This is Keep It Classic Tuesdays. I used to work for NASA studying space dust, but now I moved on to much more important things, making drinks at MG Road. Today we'll be making the Champs-Élysées. Champs-Élysées. Now, the Champs-Élysées is a shaken drink, and it has a French name, which is a boulevard in Paris, France. And that makes sense because the base spirit for this cocktail is cognac. So we'll be pouring 2 ounces of a fine cognac. Makes all the difference. You get this sort of deep richness, which is lovely. And we'll be cutting a lemon. This is a sour, and we're gonna use about 3/4 of an ounce of this lemon. And the liqueur we'll be using in this, the sweetening agent, is a green chartreuse. It's a French herbal liqueur. It's lovely. It has a million different herbs and botanicals, and the monks won't tell us how they make it. Okay, now that's not exactly sweet enough, so we're gonna add a little bit of Demerara syrup, another 1/2 ounce here. And no drink would be complete without a dash of Angostura bitters. Let's fill this tin up with ice and shake like a madman. About 10 seconds. We're going to double strain that. That basically just gets rid of like any kind of shards. There's going to be lots of ice shards because you shook the drink. We're going to add a lemon twist. You can do a twist any sort of way. I like to do kind of a quarter-sized guy. It just adds just enough lemon without just going overboard. And there we go, the Champs-Élysées. You're gonna like that. Immediately you get this sort of light herbal quality from the chartreuse. But like the flavor really just lasts, and that's because I used a nice cognac in the drink. And it's really well balanced between sweet and sour. Honestly, I've never met a single person that didn't enjoy this drink. I think it has all the components you want from both, you know, a spirit perspective to a liquor perspective to a sweet sour. I mean, it's really my personal favorite when I recommend a drink to someone who doesn't know what they want. I recommend this. Number 1, because it's classic, it survived over the decades. Number 2, for some reason, no one really has ever heard of it. So it's a perfect cocktail. Thanks for joining us. Join us every Tuesday at MG Road for classic cocktails. Keep it classy.
It's hard to manage a busy bar, but Webstron makes it easy by shipping everything you need to your door. Courtesy of Webstron Store.
Hi, I'm Sam Thompson. This is Keep It Classic Tuesdays. I used to work for NASA studying space dust, but now I moved on to much more important things, making drinks at MG Road. Today we'll be making the Brooklyn cocktail. You know, if you like Manhattans, but you're looking for something a bit different, this is perfect. The first thing you want to do is pour a decent amount of rye whiskey. I like to use 2 ounces. Next, we'll be using a dry vermouth. There's a bit of an argument as to how you should make this drink. Old recipes called for either sweet or dry vermouth, but today we're going to make it with 3/4 ounce Dolan Dry. And for this cocktail, as a Manhattan riff, we're going to add a bitter, but instead of Angostura bitters or something similar, we're going to use an Amaro. Do a 1/4 ounce of Chiaro, which is a really nice Amaro with a bitter orange note. And next, a little maraschino liqueur. Maraschino. It's fairly powerful, so we don't want to add too much. And there you have a Brooklyn cocktail. Let's see how it tastes. The Brooklyn cocktail is pretty interesting. It's an old drink, dates back to 1908. At least that's the first time it was published in a book. Keep It Classic Tuesdays is basically a day where people can enjoy drinks that have survived many decades, possibly centuries. It's a day where you can sort of discover, almost in an archaeological way, these drinks that have possibly been buried. Thanks for joining us. Join us every Tuesday at MG Road for classic cocktails. Keep it classy.
Pretty cool stuff, huh? Courtesy of Webster Store.
Hi, I'm Sam Thompson. This is Keep It Classic Tuesdays. I used to work for NASA studying space dust, but now I moved on to much more important things, making drinks at MG Road. Today we'll be making the Brandy Crusta. Now the Brandy Crusta is a cognac drink from like 1850s New Orleans. Sort of the precursor to the sidecar, which is cognac, lemon juice, curacao or Cointreau. And this one has those ingredients plus a couple others and is sort of its own beast. It's got sugar, it's got lemon peel, it's got sort of dashes and teaspoons and just, little ornamentations all over it. We'll just do 2 ounces of cognac to start. Make sure you're using a quality cognac because you're going to be tasting it. So, you're not going to really be covering it up exactly. So you want to make sure you like it. Now we're going to sort of amplify, touch up, add some details, okay, just to make that cognac a little more interesting, a little more rounded out. Next, we're gonna do a bar spoon of a curacao. This is a dry curacao, an orange liqueur, all right? This one is brandy-based curacao, so you can imagine that kind of goes well with the drink. Next, we're gonna do 2 dashes of maraschino liqueur, a cherry liqueur. 2 dashes is less than a bar spoon. It's probably like a quarter of a bar spoon, really. The reason we're only doing 2 dashes is because maraschino liqueur is pretty potent. So that's like 1, that's like 2. Okay, I'm just gonna dump the rest. We'll do a dash of Boker's bitters. This would have been the original bitters used in the 19th century to make this drink. It's aromatic, kind of citrusy. Finally, we're going to be adding a little bit of lemon juice. All right. Now, not even a bar spoon this time. We're going to do half a bar spoon. Now, back in the day, spirits maybe weren't as exactly refined as they are now, and so the idea of just adding a touch of this and a touch of that to your base spirit is because maybe the base spirit wasn't that great, right? Whoever distilled it didn't really know what they were doing. So adding just a touch of this and touch of that allows you to enjoy the base spirit, but kind of the nasty parts of it are hidden a bit. Now, before we put ice in here and stir, we need to prepare a glass. We want to coat the outside of the glass in sugar. So in order to do that, we're going to take some lemon and just going to wet the rim of the glass, like so the sugar sticks to the glass. And coat the outside edge with sugar. Usually I would just cut a little bit of lemon and drop it in the glass, right? Just your standard lemon twist. This is not a standard lemon twist, okay? This is pretty much the longest lemon peel you can possibly cut from one lemon. We got quite a bit of lemon here. All right. Now what we're going to do is sort of twirl it into a circle and just so that it kind of encompasses the edge of the glass that we're using. So now we're ready. I'm going to just stir the drink. All right, there we go. And we're just gonna strain this carefully into our glass without agitating that lemon peel. Obviously, the choice of your glassware is important here. You're not going to be able to add a lemon peel to a martini glass or one of those standard cocktail glasses, right? So more like a brandy snifter. It's really gorgeous. Just want to take a photo of that, right? So I'm gonna drop the lemon peel in so I can taste it. All right, so yeah, I get that lemon right away. And I get the cognac right away. Right, it's not overpowered by the other ingredients, but just highlights the base spirit. Yeah, this is a delicious, delicious drink. I wouldn't recommend, just ordering this at any bar that you go to. They're not going to know what you're talking about. But, if you have a guest over, a cocktail party, and you want to impress someone, this will impress them, I promise. It's really awesome. Cheers. Thanks for joining us. Join us every Tuesday at MG Road for classic cocktails. Keep it classy.
This video was brought to you in part by WebsRestaurantStore.com. Pretty cool stuff, huh? You can make your own brandy cresta in this professional mixing glass from WebsRestaurantStore.com. Thank you, Webstaurant.